morning. Good morning, everybody. You are checking us out live right here on Facebook. Also, we are on YouTube and TikTok. Those are the three platforms that we are broadcasting on right now. Let me go to the screen and let me put everybody up on full screen. So, as always, and I always say this, as always, we're joined by our co-hosts, Mr. Van Stone. Van, take it away.
All right. You know what's funny, everybody, our viewers and listeners? This is a little unusual. Good morning. Normally we broadcast in the evening, afternoon. But that means that I guess we're just getting really more closer to tighten things up and getting better and better, more interest. So welcome everybody to Philly Funk Radio TV. And of course, I'm your host, Van Stone. We also need you to check out phillyfunkradio.com. Listen to our broadcast of music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And of course, with Van Stone Philadelphia, go to our website, V as in Victor, S as in Sam, P as in Paul, the word foundation. Altogether, vspfoundation.org. That way you can really get a chance to see all the things that we're doing locally, nationally. And actually, we're even covering world news at the same time. So we definitely need to get some funding going on here. We have things set up where you can make your donations. And we're going to do a new thing going into the end of the year. We're going to ask all our listeners, viewers, to donate $1. So right now we have 100,000 viewers, listeners, and you gave us $1, we would have $100,000. So we really do need to try to raise some money. With that in mind, we have another guest here with us. Boy, this was a long time coming. As a special guest, as a family member. It is my first cousin, and I'm going to introduce you, and then I'm let her just say a little bit about herself, and then we're going to just go right into our talking points. This is the one and only Kizzy. She is originally from Philly, like me. She is a public relations specialist. She's a human relations specialist. And there's a difference between public and human. So I want y'all to really understand that. You know, she's a community organizer, activist. I'm telling you, she's my younger cousin. So all of this runs in the family, and she's beautiful. And on top of that, of course, you know, we have the Van Stone models. We have international. And eventually we would get a model here. Well, surprise, surprise. We've got one of our models here, which is Kizzy. So, Kizzy, welcome to the show, and tell us a little bit of what you want us to know about yourself.
Hey, everybody. As my cousin Van Stone says, I am all of those things, and I am so happy to be here with him. He has had this legacy, I'm going to call it, for quite some time. And I've always heard of him doing things and being active in radio. And I did have like an experience once, but it's so much easier to connect with him now. So, you know, Zoom, you know, technology after COVID happened, everyone had to be online like we are now. And, you know, at our own convenience. And we could just, you know, pop up, hey, here I am. And don't have to travel, you know, far. So I'm so happy and grateful that Van has had this platform for quite some time. Before I even probably was born, he had this vision in his mind.
I definitely did have it in my mind, cuz, and you know what's funny? We were talking the other day offline, so our listeners and viewers know and understand. Boy, you actually came down to the studio when I was actually working for other radio stations before I started my own station. And we're going way back, you know, and that was in West Philadelphia area. And I was just so proud of you, and you came down to see me. That's when I was just playing the records and doing all the stuff, you know, repeating. But we always did what was called Radio Magazine. and it was hot for me at that time. And of course, as a magazine, I had a chance to talk to the people, and I had people coming in from the SPCA. I had people who had businesses. We want to talk about that a little bit on the second part of the show, probably. This is the fun part on the first part here for the youth, the teens, the kids, goofing around. But yeah, I just really am surprised. I've been doing this so long. So welcome, and you're going to bring a lot of powerful points to us and help us to blow this thing up. I'm going to throw it back to Jerry because we was talking about something has to do with entertainment. Kind of funny, but we were talking about Will Smith and his wife Jada.
Well,
So
honestly,
what's
it's
up?
it's not really funny. I mean, the situation. But speaking of cousins, since your cousin is on, and by the way, Kizzy, your phone looks great. You might want to give Van some tips about how to do lighting on the phone.
Oh yes, yeah. The
Well,
first day I got this phone, I was in love with it. I transitioned over from an Android to an iPhone. You have to do it. I'm just going to say hands down, it's user friendly. It's so great. So get you an iPhone today, but don't run up the bill because it can get pricey.
oh,
But
believe
it's a
me, I
great
know.
phone.
Believe it or not, that's why I didn't get into the whole Apple universe, is because with the monthly subscriptions, the phone, and then every couple of years they want you to replace the phone. It could be very expensive.
Yeah, my son, he just got the iPhone 15. And he is so lucky, but we're not going to talk about him right now.
Right, right. Jerry's trying to change the subject. We
And
want to get
no,
into
no,
that
no.
with
We're,
Jada.
we're gonna
What's
go.
up with that, brother?
No, we're gonna go to the subject. But also speaking of cousins, I would like to actually give a shout out to my cousin, my first cousin, Ms. Leslie King. She just celebrated her birthday a couple of days ago. So happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Now, what we were talking about. So obviously, we were talking about the Smiths earlier and their convoluted saga of entanglements and they're getting together and they're going to stay together now or not get together. Will Smith slapping the ant out of people on Oscars and all that. So
Sure,
we're
sure.
going to pick that up with what we were talking about. And Van, jump back into it. Jump back into where we left off at with
Well,
that.
where we left off is that Will Smith is my man. I like him, but we were talking about people's characters and also their attitude. And you don't know a person. So we were talking about how there's a lot of rumors about Will Smith and how he personally deals with people. And I'm telling you, then we talked about his wife in the sense that she was just a great star. I was just so excited to follow her. And then so when you can unfriend a person on Facebook, it's pretty much not just with me, but basically most of the people who follow now entertainment, they kind of just not that happy with Jada, just seeing kind of the personality she has. Well, what you think, Kizzy?
Well, I felt like I was sad that the story had got out. I feel like, we had already heard rumors and it was just that, and that's where I think it should have been left with just rumors, but people want to make money. And that's what I think this really is about. I was sad to hear that story leak. I felt like that was a story that should not have been out in the public. That's my true opinion about it. And if I had a friend or someone like that, or someone that I was working with closely or whatever like that, that did that to me, I would feel like Jada, like, hey, I'm coming back for you.
Wow.
Suing in law, in the court of law. It doesn't matter, but I guess maybe, seeing that person fall to their knees, I guess that's what she's looking for.
Okay.
But I just wish that they would have all kept that to themselves, to be honest with you. I think the rumors was good enough, and we already had those rumors about Will Smith. I mean, he fine as hell, I don't want to hear that anyway. And so I'm gonna be honest, when I listened to that video of Bilal that day, like everything just left my body in that way. In that, you know what I mean? It's like I don't even want to think about anything relative to any type of sexuality preferences, none of that. I didn't even want to talk about it. I didn't want to think about it. It just really took a lot out of me. So I
Kizzy,
that's how I feel.
well, Kizzy, I missed that in the Bilal interview or something you said? What was that about? I mean,
Yeah. So, a guy who, I guess I've never heard of him before. This was my first time hearing about him, maybe about 3 weeks ago. And he dropped a whole video with Tasha K. Tasha
okay,
K is messy. Well, she is messy boots. Like
okay,
she's going to
okay,
talk about everybody. And when she first came out, I was like, this lady is talking about everybody. And it was just like, how black people like gossip.
right,
So
right,
she had a job, but then she kind of, I guess, went too far with this interview. And Jada Pinkett says she's suing. And that's why Tasha K is messy boots because I mean
the Bilal,
I would not want to be sued by Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm sorry. I just
right,
wouldn't. Even if I have an opinion. So anyway, the guy who was kind of like, I guess, a promoter, for lack of better words,
okay,
he basically was telling all of these tell all stories, and he's telling all these things about it. He mentioned, like, well, Will Smith and his encounters and with
okay,
other men,
wow,
and so that's why I said I feel like, now the other part, okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
okay,
I feel like it was a good thing to put it out there because um people need to know that Hollywood is not all what it's cracked up to be. You got to make a lot of sacrifices. And that's why I didn't go into that direction.
okay,
Because the spirit told me you're going to be making a lot of sacrifices in order to be in this particular situation. And I know myself, I'm not doing it.
right, right,
And so, so it taught us, like, okay, man, this needs to be known about. Like, if this young child, in my opinion, he was 16, 17 years old, and he was taken advantage of, yes, that's wrong. And it's wrong. And
right,
I feel like it should be exposed. Nobody should have to, go in that direction just because they want to express their talent. I love Will Smith.
right,
I love everything about him. He's from West Philly. West
right,
Philly is the hub in a lot of ways. You know what I
right,
mean? In Philly, in North Philly too. But I always felt like West Philly was like home because I'm from West Philly, right? We're from
yes,
West Philly.
right, that's right,
And then the show, and then he rapped, he was talented and all of that. And so, I always liked Will Smith, even still now. Like what he did or what he does, oh well, that's none of my business. I'm
right.
okay with it. But I feel like out in the open like that, uh if
Well,
I had to pick one side, I would have said, don't talk about it. I don't care how much money they're going to pay.
Well,
right.
I
Well,
also,
let me say this. I'm gonna throw it back to you, Jerry.
uh,
Most of it is a bunch of nonsense. On both sides, husband and wife, both doing the same thing. So I'm gonna pass that as a hint, hint back to Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry. Tell us
well,
what's
what I
up.
was going to say, and we were talking, Van, earlier, is regardless of all the rumors, regardless of everything coming out, his wife actually is not making the situation better. It seems like Will is trying to remain private, trying to get his family back together, but then his wife just keeps coming in the media and just saying thing after thing after thing after thing. And if you really want to work on your family, you want to work on your relationship with your husband and or wife, spouse, whatever, you keep your dirty laundry uh, private. And she's just,
Right.
I mean, she did stop for the time being, but I just seen something else where she keeps going, where she keeps going back in the media, and it's like, shut up, like stop it,
Right.
like you're
Well,
making it worse.
how are we doing on time? Are we still good for part one? Because we know we got part two coming up.
Well, we're just running straight through.
Oh, okay. Well, I just need to know where we're at on time. So when I go
So
to a different topic,
so
I don't want to,
we're already at
be
15
rushed.
minutes.
So how we doing?
15 minutes. We're at 15 right now, so we're good.
So how much time we got left?
About 15,
Oh, okay.
about a half hour.
All right. Well, let me change gears with the 15 minutes right now, and let's get into some of I'm going to say things that we really need to talk about. Unfortunately, this season, man, it's just supposed to be joy, and that's what we're trying to do. But basically, here in Philadelphia, we go right into our main topic, and it's going to make it easy for me to bring Kizzy right back in. Watch this, because this is about Black Philadelphia and Black America. And right now, I'm telling you that in the next 8 years, if we don't do something, Black Philadelphia is going to be erased, gone. And it's like the financial situation is so bad. We're in this worst city in the whole country. The money is going to be taken away. And we had talked about that in our last show, where the kind of salary that we should have, at this particular time, a 14-year-old, 14 to 20 should be making $40,000 a year. Now that sounds big for a 14-year-old, but that's basically $20 an hour. But once you become into adulthood, that's no money. And yet at the same time, that's big money and great for someone who's 14 going into 20. So what's happening here, we have a new mayor, Mayor-elect Cherelle Parker. This is the year, we're going to say, of the woman, first Black woman mayor. And if we cannot connect with this mayor for the transition of Philadelphia, Philadelphia is going to be lost as far as Black America is concerned, and Black Philadelphians. So I want to throw this back to Kizzy because it's interesting. Kizzy has started something a long time ago previously in the Jenkintown area using what's called a book club. And so, Kizzy, how have you been using a book club to really help Black Philadelphians, which Jenkintown is really Philly to me, as I said, dealing with this crisis right now?
Well, it actually started way before the book club. So the book club was during COVID, and it was, for, Black women, basically. No men could join, no men, just only Black women. And I feel that's where it starts in our city. As Black women, we got to step up and we got to stand out and we got to stick together. It's a lot of competition amongst Black women, and I feel like that's not going to save our sons. We need to save our sons in the Philadelphia area, in every area, especially any inner city area. We have to save our sons ourselves. Nobody's going to, even though, the magic wand, from what I heard on TV coming from the news media saying that the FBI were basically locking our youth up for whatever reason, whatever crime they committed. And I just feel like, it takes more than just locking up a person. It broke my heart to hear a 13-year-old, not in this city, but in another city, sentenced to life in prison for a murder. Those are the type of things that we can't allow, and as far as like what's working, we have to come together as a community to find out what's working. So getting back to the book club, that brought unity. We had women from Philly, women from New Jersey coming together, and we were just healing one another, because especially when you go through a tragedy like that, you're going to need healing. You cannot survive that on your own, and not have a sisterhood. So I just want to see a real sisterhood. This is the city of brotherly love. That's what we thrive off of. And West Philly is just all about it. And I feel sad that, and I'm going to just make this last point. I feel sad that, I can't feel safe in West Philly. I feel like the men, on the men's angle, they need to make me feel safe when I come to West Philly. I should be able to walk down the street anytime I want and feel safe.
Right. And that's why we are taking the lead. This is not new for us, and we're welcoming Warren Bloom into the show. Everybody, the host. So,
hi.
Yeah, former candidate for mayor, Philadelphia mayor. That's why we have this big thing this time, which we're calling it Under Safe Streets, and that is our theme, and it really ties in neighborhood safety and engagement, and that's what this is all about. So that the women, when they take the lead, in our plan, we have a plan. If we can get involved with the new mayor's transition, we want to have the women, that means young women, which we talk about teens. They're not full grown, but they're still considered young women, in the lead, in the streets, taking the lead so that once the women feel safe and we apply all the things that we have as a plan, then we can get all these other things together and just satisfy and stop all of this crazy violence. It can be done within a year. Warren, are you there? Did you hear these last comments?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. Yeah,
And this is Kizzy. This is my cousin. She will be working with us closely. I'm going to really position her where she's going to help you out. She has a lot of background in public relations, human relations, community organizing. I just give you that brief review because you missed it when in the introduction.
So,
Go
by the
ahead.
way, we have 10 minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, I wish you to call me then to remind me to send out links. I just sent out 2 more links and stuff because I was up late last night. I'm sorry I was late.
Oh, no problem. Just go forward. No problem. Go forward. On that point, the point that
yeah, I heard the fact that yes, we're the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection as it goes. But I'm surprised you feel you're less safe in West Philly as opposed to North Philadelphia, perhaps.
Are you talking to Kizzy?
Yes.
She's muted.
Okay, no, I was saying that I am from West Philly.
Right.
I consider myself born and raised in West Philly, even though I wasn't actually born in West Philly, but that's where my heart is at.
Right.
And so anytime I go in West Philly, I want to feel safe. I feel that way about West Philly for a lot of reasons because it's so much community culture. I'm going to call it like that. I mean, the people down there, are amazing. As far as like a lot of different things for the community, period. Like, on Juneteenth, they were doing the a meetup gathering right there. I think it's in what's the name of that park right there? I think it's on 56th Street.
Park.
What is it? Clark Park?
Carroll's 56. Carroll's Park.
Yes.
Carroll's Park. Is that where? Okay. So, that's amazing to me to be able to come together as a community. I don't know any other community in Philadelphia that has done that. I mean, I've been in North Philly, but my home is West Philly. So that's why I made that comment.
Okay. And back to you, Jerry, because where we are at time. How we doing?
So we're about to run out. So I was going to do our videos and slides real quick. So we're going to run this
15 minutes went real quick.
Yeah, it does. We're talking. We're rolling. So
Okay.
we're about to run the one you sent me with the young lady.
Let's run through everything.
So we're just going to run through it. So we got the young lady. Boom.
Honey, I've changed so much since I last saw you. Hands on my head, every...
Then we got these are your kids, right, man?
Yeah, those are my 2 daughters. They're giving us joy for the celebration. Christmas in advance.
And also, we're taking a look at the comic strip. Actually, there's a whole bunch of stuff on here. What is?
Right.
What is?
Well,
I can't even see everything.
To the point. So Roger Robbie is really the premier mascot, and we're trying to bring Roger Robbie in to represent what we're talking about for Philadelphia. Philadelphia needs a new mascot. We've got all these different mascots, but it hasn't helped with Safe Streets. So Roger Robbie is just really known as the hip hop raccoon, and we have all these posters, which they're value posters, one word at a time, which will help bring down the issue that we're having in Philly.
And also, you were talking about your Safe Streets, and we're taking a look at your Safe Streets Power Snack slide featuring Dr. J. Julius Erving.
Oh, okay. You brought that back. So that was
brought it
from
back.
last show. So I guess you must be a Dr. J fan. And yes, let's let everybody
one of the
know.
greats.
So, okay, we've been working with Dr. J for a long time. And we do have some juice. We just need a little more juice, and we need a lot more money. So let's go with that.
All right, so we're about to wrap it up real quick. We're going to get people's final thoughts right now, and as always, I start with Van's final thought. Go ahead.
No, 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 don't start with me. Let me go last. Warren, let him go
Okay,
first. He
Warren.
came in
Oh
the
yeah,
tail
since
end.
you just came in, Warren.
Well, again, we are in tremendous times here in the city of Philadelphia. I was last night. I was celebrating the retirement of Councilwoman Sharon Vaughn, who has over 35 years in council. They had it at South. It was a great turnout. Everybody came out except Sherelle. I think everybody from city, So, but our new mayor-elect is probably very busy these days. But again, she's going to need a lot of help and prayer. As a community, we have to come together. We believe she can do it. I'm committed, along with the rest of you guys, especially Van, to her success. But I want to wish everybody, of course, a wonderful and safe holiday and a bright new year. And we're going to be expecting and doing better things here with our Zoom broadcast. And so I'm encouraged.
All right, Kizzy, any final thoughts in a minute or less?
Yes, I just want to say thank you to everyone on this platform right now. And I'm just happy to be here and happy to be able to share my thoughts and just be with you guys. As Warren, is it Warren?
Yes. Warren Bloom.
Warren Bloom, thank you so much for representing Philly. And thank you for your question. And I appreciate you. And take care, everyone. Have a happy, safe holiday season.
And since Van wants to go last, I'll just say thank you, everybody, for watching. We've been getting a lot of people. I've actually been having people from my day job, people from my labor union watching. So just to let you know, we're getting popular out there. So thank you, everybody, for checking us out, in particular today. Now I'll go to lastly in 1 minute or less, Van.
Okay, 1 minute or less. Please go to our website, vspfoundation.org. Check out all of the things that we're doing. We are raising money. We need you to send in $1. We have 100,000 viewers and listeners right now. You send us $1, our organization will have $100,000. Can we do it? So we're doing that. Check out phillyfunkradio.com. We have music. And also we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. And of course, come back for our beautiful Van Stone models. We have one today, Cousin Kizzy. Being beautiful doesn't mean that you're not bright. She just proved that today.
And just remember on both TikTok as well as YouTube, just search Philly Funk Radio and everything will come up. Anyway, everybody, thank you for joining us. Until next time, have a wonderful weekend.
All right.